The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Wednesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartley with you. Scotty Mincher with me, as always, on Wednesdays. We hope everyone had a happy holiday season. We're back from the holiday break, and we are opening up being back from the holiday with a great Christmas present right here. We have a player profile live on the show, live guest, Livy Showalter from West Branch, senior girls basketball player, joining us on the show. Livy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You got it. We said it's senior year. So the first question is, what's it been like going through this year, knowing that it's your last go around and you're doing everything for the last time?
I mean, it's been great, especially like the whole team in general. Like, it's like a great group of girls, and like our coaches and even our ball girls. Like, we just have like a great community. But like after volleyball season ended and like how quickly it like went, like, and like when the soccer girls said like their season went by really quick, like we made it a point to make sure that like we like took in every single moment of this season because we knew it was going to go by really fast. So that's what we're still doing every day.
You have a comment already on the Facebook page is Mrs. Householder says, "Hi, Livy." So got some love going on.
Yeah.
As we go into the senior season, and you know, we talked to a lot of seniors at YSN, and they all kind of have a different point in their year where it hits them that they're a senior and this is the last time they're going to be able to do it. Has it hit you yet? Has the reality sunk in that it's senior season?
I mean, yeah, it kind of did after, like I said, our last volleyball game, because it just like it hit me like with how fast it went, and I was like, wow, like that's like, because like I only played 2 sports, so like to me that's like half of my senior year
Right.
like is over already. So like going into basketball, I was like, I had to make sure, like I said last, like I really take my time and slow down because I really want this, like I want to savor these moments, and like it kind of hit me like a couple months ago, yeah.
You already had one senior night with volleyball. Now you're gonna have another one with basketball. How do you handle those emotions? What kind of emotions hit you on senior night?
I mean, I obviously get sad because like I've grown up with these girls, like even like the girls that aren't in my grade, like we like have played sports together. So like it's like sad to like know that like I'm not gonna like be with them anymore, and like it's weird thinking like, oh, next year I'll be back, but I'll be like watching in the stands. It's just like
Right.
a weird feeling in general. But like the game of senior night is always special because it's like, I don't know, you play the game for the seniors, and it's just like it's a fun night.
All right, so now let's talk about this basketball season. Off to a fantastic start in West Branch this year. You guys have been playing so well, and you have so many people back from last year, and it seems like it's a group that is focused and wants to achieve big things. What's this year been like so far? What has been the feel inside the locker room, inside the practices? Obviously, we've seen the games that you guys have played and the scores you guys have been putting up. What's the whole season been like for you so far?
It's been really fun, like having like, I mean, it's always fun to like have a winning season, and that's like where we're at right now. But like we know that like we feel like we like have earned like where we've gotten like in the season based on like how hard we worked this summer. Like it's crazy, like with like our basketball team, like everybody shows up for everything in the summer. Like we're like a very committed team, like everyone on the team is. So when we like get like the moments of like, you know, having good games, like we think like, oh, we've earned that. Like we played really good. Like our defense is like really good, and like that's what helped us win the game. But like after all our games, like and like going into the practice the next day, our coach makes a point to somehow like one way or another, he says, like, you gotta stay humble, but you gotta stay hungry. And, like, that's, like, kind of what we go in, like, the mindset that we have for every practice. It's, like, we know, like, we can't be content with where we're at because, like, each game's just gonna give us more of a challenge, but we have to want to, like, face that challenge. And I think we're doing a really good job, like, coming into practice and, like, working hard every single day.
A lot of good teams use that stay hungry mindset, but I imagine in West Branch when you walk into the gym and you see all the state banners for girls basketball and you see all the conference championships and the record books for girls basketball and all the great players that have come before in this program. Does that make it easier to stay hungry and want to get this program back to that kind of tradition?
I don't know if I'd say easier, but I'd say like it makes it fun. Like it's a fun goal to chase, like knowing like it's like a big tradition to like have like, those championships. So it makes everyone, I guess, yeah, it would be easier because at the same time like everybody on the team wants to achieve those goals. So like we can count on anyone to like be there for us to like help us get there at like the end of the season.
If we rewound you back to your freshman season, walking into that gym and seeing all that stuff and knowing exactly what this program was and the tradition of success it has, what was it like to finally be a part of it? And was it daunting for you? Did it make you nervous to come into this program, or was it kind of a challenge and made you excited to try to be the next player that gets into those moments?
Um, it was kind of intimidating just because like it's like freshman year, like I didn't like it was weird. But like having like a summer before like the actual season starts and like getting to know the girls and like that was COVID year, so like we didn't get to do as much as like we have like the next couple years, but like building relationships with the team like the summer before definitely made like going into the actual season like a lot like more fun and like easier. And like also I was a ball girl for the team in sixth
Mm.
grade, so like I knew like a lot about like how Coach DeShields like ran practices and like the expectations kind of. So like going into like my freshman year, I was like I kind of had a taste of what it was going to be like. Obviously, it was not the same because I was in sixth grade and now I was actually on the team. But overall, I think it was just like exciting to actually be a part of something like bigger than myself.
All right, so we take you back. You're a ball girl in sixth grade, and you're
Mhm.
watching this team do amazing things. And now here you are. You're a senior. You're a role model yourself. You have other girls looking up to you the same way you did when you were in sixth grade to those girls. What's that like for you? What kind of moment is like to kind of go full circle and think about like I was watching this team do this when I was in sixth grade as a ball girl, and now all these younger girls in the program are watching me and wanting to be where I am when they grow up.
I mean, it's really cool because like sometimes like you think about just playing the game and you don't realize like how many people like are actually watching you. And then like sometimes like our coach always says like you never know like who's in the stands. Like you might have somebody watching you, like this is their first time watching you, this is their last time watching you. Like you never know, like always play your heart out. So like that's what I always try to do every time I play. But like it's cool because like when like I was a ball girl, I was in sixth grade. So the freshmen on the team were actually seniors when I was a freshman. So like
Mm.
I don't know if like Coach Shields does that age gap on purpose. So like I was a ball girl with people that I would be eventually playing with, and it's like it's cool because like at the time I didn't really think about that, and then when I was like a freshman and they were seniors, it was like we kind of had a slight relationship there already, and that was like a really cool thing getting into that.
All right. So when we talk about, things that you've grown in since freshman year, what do you think are the biggest differences between you then and you now?
Ultimately, I think it's just like my strength. Like I've done like a lot. I feel like I've worked a lot harder to like get stronger, and just my confidence in general like has just gotten a lot better, I think.
We hear a lot of players talk about how their confidence grows as they go on. Where do you get your confidence? Where does the confidence that you have in yourself come from?
Oh, that just comes from the rest of my team, I think, because like if you know like the rest of your team has your back, then like what else can you do? Like it's just like if they're there for you, then like like you can do it for them. So like that's just like how I roll, I guess.
We were asking you about being a role model of this community, and so now we have to ask you who some of your role models are, and who are the people in your life that you look up to, and you say, when you're in maybe a bad day or you just need a little boost, who are the people that you look to and you go to for that encouragement?
I mean, obviously my parents, because like they're always there for me, and I can talk to them about anything, and it's just like I don't know, they've raised me. Like everything I am is because of them. But like through sports, I'd probably have to say like my friends. Like I know I can always talk to them, like whether they're on the team or like they're just my friends in school. And then like my coaches, like our coaches have such a good relationship with like all of us, like not only our main coach but all of our assistant coaches. And like I know if I had an issue, whether if it was not even basketball related, I know I could talk to them about anything. And like they're all huge role models for me, and like they've all been there since like I was a ball girl too. So like I don't know, like they've been there, they've been through this program like the whole time. So like they're just like, I don't know, they're just all important to me.
You know, you're coached by kind of a legend in girls basketball, with Walter Shields being your head coach, and obviously he's been there for quite a while, and you've built a strong relationship with him. Tell us what it's like to be coached by him, and what it means to you, and how much you're trying to suck in the last year with him, because we talked about trying to treasure the last year with your teammates and the sisters that you've built over the years, but it's also your last year to be coached by Walter Shields. What's that been like for you?
I mean, it's been great. He obviously like makes his program like what it is. Like my cousins are like a lot older than me and they played for him, and then my sister's 4 years older than me and she played for him. So like I like grew up watching him coach as well as like playing with him the past 4 years, and he just made this program like he's just made it great, and he's made it such a home for us to come to. Like I spend so much of my time with the basketball team and the coaches more than like I do like with anybody else. And like if you don't have a good, you know, like relationship with your coaches and your like teammates, then like you're not gonna have a good team. And he does a really good job of making sure like we have a good team relationship between players and players and players and coaches and coaches and coaches. And like he's really like set the tone for like the whole program, and he's done a great job. And I'm definitely gonna miss playing for him.
You already knew him pretty well before you stepped on the floor as a freshman, but what were some things that maybe surprised you about, you know, what his coaching style was like, or maybe you were like, oh wow, this is new, I haven't seen this before? What were what were some first impressions when you finally were able to start being coached by Walter Shields?
Um, I'd say probably like he's just like um, he's a lot more fun than like you'd think. Like he's not all serious. Like he knows like when like obviously like we have to be serious at practice, but there's also times that like you can goof around and have fun and like make it a good time. And like originally when I thought going into the program, just like watching him coach, like it was just all serious, all business during a game, and that's obviously like what it has to be. But like when you step into practices, like you have those moments where like you can have a good time with like your teammates and your coaches, and that's kind of like where like also like the relationship gets like built together and like gets built better is because of like how he can like have fun with us too.
Is there a common Walter Shields quote that you guys hear a lot in practice or in locker room before games, or anything like that?
Um, Not really like that I can think of, but like I know every year like he comes up with something different to like say to us, and like this year like is like prove something, like we have something to prove. So like that's kind of like what he's been saying like this whole season, because like we definitely have something to prove after last season. So like that's kind of engraved in our minds this season for sure.
What one of your teammates do you think would have the best impression of Coach Shields? If we had to ask everyone on the team to be like, hey, give us your best impression of Walter Shields, who do you think would be able to nail it?
Probably Allie Carnegie, because she can do an impression of anyone whenever you ask her to.
Love it. Before we
Yeah.
let you go, Scotty's with us on every Wednesday, so we're gonna have him ask you a question, and then we'll let you give your shout outs and the people that you want to thank for the end of the interview.
Yeah, Olivia, again, thanks for joining us. And I just wanted to ask you kind of a two-part question here. The first thing is like mentally, when you talk about volleyball and then basketball as well, is there a different way you uh, prepare yourself mentally depending on what sport it is, or do you pretty much like get yourself ready and psych yourself up in the same way? And then the second part of that, when it comes to basketball and your high school career, is there anybody that you've kind of like modeled your game after, whether it be like girls basketball or guys?
So the first one, I kind of pretty much do the same thing I did for volleyball. Like I try to like watch film on like teams if we were able to get that. Just like prepare myself like by like listening to music and staying quiet and trying to get locked in before the game starts. So those are pretty much the same like between sports. I know basketball like we do a little bit more preparation for teams with like scouting reports, and we definitely have a lot more film. So like I would say like probably just more like of that, like preparing for the other team. That's probably the only thing I do different between the two. And honestly, I kind of just like play my own game, I guess. If I were like role model, I guess for like basketball, it'd just be like anybody else like in the program that's like come before me that like played as a post, like watching them like grow up, especially when I was a ball girl. Um, and like Natalie Zukowski was a senior, so she was like one of our really big posts at the time, and like I just remember looking up to her and being like, wow, I want to be like her, like I want to play like her, like on the post. And I mean, I keep trying to like be a better version of myself every day when that comes to that. But yeah, that's pretty much her.
All right, Livy, like we said, before we let you go, we like to let the players, every player profile we do, to give their shout outs, to give their the people that are in their support system some time to shine. So I want to give you the time to be able to do that.
Well, just all my thank yous go to my teammates and my coaches and my whole family. Like I have such a big support system through all of them, and my family. Like I have like my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, family, friends. Like they're always showing up to my games, and like they've pushed me to be like who I am. And like my teammates, especially the ones that like I grew up playing like other sports with. Like we grew up together, like in and out of school, in and out of sports, and like they're just like a huge reason of where I am today as well. And then my coaches, obviously, like they just like they always like they know like you can be a better version of yourself every day, and like they're definitely there to push me. And I just want to say thank you to them too.
All right, Livy, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and we appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the senior season, and
Thank
we
you.
can't wait to talk to you real soon.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it, Livy Showalter from West Branch, one of the amazing seniors that they have. West Branch on a run so far on the girls' basketball side, doing great things. Scotty, what a great way to come back from a holiday break, right?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And um, it's I'm ready to go because as you know, I messaged you last week. I had
Mhm.
a bug. I was not feeling very well at all, so I was so disappointed missing last week. But it's great to be on this week and start the show today. The These kids, man, they never seem
Right?
to cease to amaze me. It's like they're unbelievable, man.
Everyone we bring on is just a banger interview. Like it's just like boom, boom.
Yeah,
I love it. I love these kids. I love our athletics community. They're doing such a good job, and basketball is no different. We had a little bit of a break, a couple of day break. We took a breath, but now Scotty, we hit the ground running because YSN gonna have a lot of games on for the rest of the week. And the thing about basketball is, you can kind of break the season up into two halves. November and December are kind of when teams, especially this year, because we saw a lot of great kids graduate a year ago. So you've seen a lot of teams trying to find their identity and get synchronized, get together. West Branch is not one of those teams, by the way, but a lot of teams trying to find their identity, trying to find out what they're good at. And then January and February is when they start to find it out and start to hit strides. For the boys teams that were waiting on football programs to finish up late into the state tournament run, they're starting to get their football players into the stride of basketball. We hear a lot of boys coaches tell us how important January is because that's when they start to get into basketball shape and you start to see them, really groove into basketball in the January and February months. So this is kind of like the second half of basketball season after Christmas where these teams start to really mold into the team that you're going to see in the postseason.
for sure, definitely. And it's kind of feel like I like to think of it as Christmas, like in the holiday season. It's kind of like similar to when we were in school and you have that substitute teacher. You kind of like um, goof off a little bit or just kind of take it easy. And then after the holidays, it's like boom. It's like okay, now we're gonna see these teams and what players really start to kind of use this showcase to help propel their team to great things.
Scotty, we have just 2 basketball games from yesterday to talk about. That was kind of like getting your feet wet for the rest of the week because we had a couple of games this happen. It was a boys-girls doubleheader in McDonald between Girard and McDonald. Girard won the girls' game 39-28, and then the boys flipped the script, and McDonald split that doubleheader. McDonald won the boys' game. I believe the final score was 57-50. So those 2 games are under the belt, and congratulations to both teams for getting those victories. But tonight we have more to talk about since Wrestling Wednesday is going to start at 1:30. If you're watching, trying to find Wrestling Wednesdays, Gary is going to be on at 1:30, and so will Kyle Burt from Salem Wrestling. They'll both be on at 1:30 for our episode 5 of Wrestling Wednesday. But as we go into the schedule for today, since we won't have time at the end of the show because Wrestling Wednesday is going to be on the flip side of that, I should say, on the tail end of the show. So we'll just re-maneuver and we'll do the preview of tonight's action here now. We'll pop into the scoreboard real quick, which is always presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Let me share the screen for you. All right, we should be good here. Let's pop into the scoreboard, Scotty, and see what we got going on today. We have girls basketball going on. Warren JFK United started at 1 o'clock, so it's actually going on right now. Chris Sigler on the call down there. So if you want to pull up 2 screens, don't leave us, please. Don't leave us. But if you want to pull up 2 screens and watch United and JFK, that should be a fun one going on right now. As those two get back from holiday break, Heartland Christian hosting Edison tonight. We have Conneaut traveling to Grand Valley. Matthews goes to Liberty. Brookfield and Badger going in action. I will be at that one, so that one's got you covered. Lowville hosting Mogador. Canfield girls traveling to Talmadge. That one's also going on a little bit earlier than most girls' game, but 4:30 start time for that as they squared off in Talmadge. East Liverpool travels to Toronto tonight as well. We go into boys basketball, and we have Austintown Fitch traveling to Erie Cathedral Prep. We have Hubbard going to Springfield, Maplewood going to Lakeview, Latonia going to Waterloo. We have Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary going to Ursuline. Scotty, that one's going to be a tremendous basketball game between the 2 Irish teams. Obviously, everyone knows St. V's, and then Ursuline's off to a great start this year. Urban Scholars are going to travel to West Branch tonight, and then Ashtabula St. John goes to Cardinal to round out the games that are going on today. Let's see what will be on the network as we go into the spreadsheet for today. And on the network today, obviously, I already said I will be at Brookfield for Badger versus Brookfield. Heartland Christian hosting Edison will be covered by Larry Scragg. We have Grand Valley and Conneaut. That one will be covered by Tyler Hartz. Matt Marr and Jordan Barber are going to be in Liberty for Matthews and Liberty. This is girls basketball, by the way. Chris Sigler is in United right now for United and Warren JFK. And Eric Hughes will be at Lowville for Mogador Lowville. On the boys' side, we have Springfield being covered by Zach Swenson. He'll be traveling with Hubbard to Springfield. Lakeview will be covered by Sam Ballas and Jake Nicholas, the Lakeview guys that have been doing a great job with them all year. We have Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary, and Ursuline going to be covered by the duo of Tyler Bartell and Tim Corso. And then that's going to round out your basketball. We do have wrestling on the network tonight as well. The Innate Duels, Chris Colucci, going to be on the call there. So wrestling in action tonight on the network as well. The Innate Duels, Chris Colucci on the call for that one. So that's your night of basketball. And but you know what? Before we go, because tomorrow and Friday, reminder, there won't be a running point because me and Ty are going to be down at South Range for the fourth annual Holiday Hoops Classic down there at South Range. We're going to be doing basketball from 10 a.m. to 8:30 at night. So it's going to be a full day of basketball, girls basketball from South Range. So I wanted to take time to remind people of that. There will not be running point tomorrow or Friday. We're kind of hopping on for Wrestling Wednesday, doing Wrestling Wednesday, and then we'll be back next Monday for running point as we have a full day of basketball on tomorrow from the Thriller Dome at South Range.
Full day of basketball from the Thriller Dome.
Yes, and
Exciting
hopefully me and Ty
stuff.
get a bunch of games that let it live up to its name. You know, we love watching Thrillers in the Dome. Thriller Dome at South Range. I've been calling it that since I first started calling games at YSN. Thriller Dome. That's what South Range is to me. And we've seen a lot of thrillers go on at that gym. Scotty, you've even seen a couple of thrillers go down at that gym yourself.
Oh yeah, I have some great memories there with you and the last year calling the game, and it's
the All-Star game. You were with us for that one too.
Yep.
Back when the All-Star game was at South Range.
Well, yeah,
all fun. So me and Ty will be there at South Range tomorrow. Before the show's over, before we get out of there, I'll run down the whole schedule of games. I want to take a commercial break now so we can line up our Wrestling Wednesday to start at 1:30. So we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the start of Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Altizer. Kyle Burt from Salem joins the show. Don't go anywhere. Running Point brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa and I'm YN proud.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats, because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
And welcome back to Wednesday's episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Got a full box now as Wrestling Wednesday enters episode 5 here right after Christmas, December 27th. I have Gary Altizer, the head coach at Wellsville, and our YSN wrestling guru in the top right-hand corner there. Scotty Minter, as always, and then our special guest on Wrestling Wednesdays today from Salem, Kyle Burt. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today, bud.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. Salem off to a good start so far, and one of the things I know about this wrestling program is there's a lot of guys in it. I mean, you have a big program and a big roster this year. So what's it like having a good turnout?
I mean, it's good. It's just more people in the room for like different styles, and it's just good for practice.
Well, Gary's muted.
Kyle, you've had some success in your career. You're a state qualifier. I believe your sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I ask this every week. Every good wrestler, it starts in the practice room. Do you have a drill partner that your go-to, or can you tell us a little bit about who's pushed you in the wrestling room to help get you better?
Yeah, my main practice partner is Will Harmon, but I practice with a whole bunch of guys: Joey Kana, my brother Caleb Burt, and my coach Scoot, Caden Hart. But those are the guys that really push us, like, just every day.
I'm sure inside and outside the wrestling room you might have some stuff with your brother. I'm sure there's some off practice wrestling going there inside the family as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the mental strength it takes to wrestle. Every time we bring a wrestler on, we talk about what their mental preparation is, how they handle a long, grueling match, and how they're able to keep themselves mentally locked in. What is your strategy to stay mentally locked in during a wrestling match?
I don't know. I just stick to the basics. Like, I mean, I don't know. Just stick to what I know, and read the keys.
So you guys started out well. I believe you guys won your first tournament.
Yeah.
That you guys were in, and over the last couple of years, you guys have brought home a lot of team trophies. And like Anthony said, you have a big roster. Every year, it seems like Salem always has a really good sized roster. How motivating is it for you guys to know that when you go into a tournament that you can come home with that team trophy?
I mean, it's just really motivating, and it just helps us get more guys out. When you see us succeeding, and guys getting on the podium, getting first, second, third, it just brings more people in and gets the program more attention.
Let's talk about your wrestling journey. When did you start in the sport, and when did you find yourself starting to really take it seriously and wanting to work at it and wanting to be the best wrestler you could be?
I started when I was little, about like 4 or 5, but I really started like taking it serious in junior high.
So I'm sure getting back to the state tournament, getting on the podium is a big goal for you. Do you have any other goals as far as maybe career wins, some kind of school record, anything else like that you want to achieve this year?
Most pins would be a cool one. I'm at like 13 right now, or 12 for the season. But I mean, just like that's probably the only one I'll probably get.
When you think of all the stuff that you've already accomplished, Gary went over it, state qualifier, you've done a lot of great things. What are you most proud of so far in your wrestling career?
Just making an impact on the other guys, making just the room more talented, and pushing the other guys.
So your first trip to the state tournament, you didn't get on the podium. How much has that motivated you this year? Do you think that being there once already has really, what to expect? The lights aren't going to be too big. And do you have your eyes focused now on in Columbus in March?
Yeah, I've had my eyes on the podium since last year, but I really think I can get on there this year.
We always also talk to wrestlers about the rivalries they build over the years, and you wrestle a lot of the guys at the same time, especially if you're good at your craft. You'll see a lot of guys that you wrestle a couple of times at least in your career. Who are some guys that when you see them across from you on the mat that you get really stoked to wrestle and it's going to be a fun match and it's going to be a hard one too?
Usually those Louisville kids, because they're usually really good. And just depends. Like there's a whole bunch of other kids around the area. Some Canfield kids are really good. I like wrestling against those ones.
Well, the season is now we're getting towards the middle of the season now, and really where things are gelling. I'm not sure what weight you've went this year so far, but do you have a weight that you're going to progress towards as the year goes on, or are you going to stay where you're at now?
I've been wrestling 138, and the plan's to stay there, but stuff might happen, might have to go up or down, but I plan to stay at 38.
Earlier you talked about wanting to leave an impact on this program and the guys in it, and trying to make them better as a teammate. If we interview a Salem wrestler next year and we talk about what being Kyle's teammate, what impact that led to them, what do you hope their answer would be?
Just how I push people in the practice room, and like how hard we go, and like how just intense our drilling is.
Well, since you've talked about the things that you want to accomplish this year and the things that your team has done, is there anything that kind of you would tell anybody out there that's starting up into the sport? What would you focus on to become a good wrestler? There's always new kids coming out every year, and the sport's expanding. There are more schools adding it. There are more kids wanting to try it out, but some of them might be a little bit nervous. What kind of advice would you give them?
Just practice. Don't be afraid to, try new things. Like in practice, just don't be afraid to shoot and just take a shot. Like, never know what'll happen.
You don't need it in your program because you have a big turnout and you have a big roster. But if someone's trying to get into wrestling or someone wants to maybe check it out, what's your sales pitch to bringing someone on into the sport?
You get mentally tough by wrestling, and it's a little physical too. So,
do you guys, are you guys in the hallways talking to your classmates, to the people in the halls? Do you think that, you said your success has obviously helped sell it too, but are you guys that are on the team, you guys have been wrestling for a while, are you trying to get new kids out all the time?
Yeah, we're always talking to football kids and other sports, trying to get them to come wrestle.
We see you on the football field, and anyone that does football and wrestling always tells us that it's a different shape. You can't be in football shape and wrestling shape. It's just it's a different kind of endurance. It's a different kind of being in shape. What's the thing that you do the best to transition from football into wrestling during your career?
Just more mat time, because you can run sprints all you want, but you're gonna gas out. This mat strength and like it's just a whole different level.
We've asked this in the past. Everybody that's wrestled, you got to make weight. You're watching what you're eating, whatnot. After you make weight, especially if you've had to cut, what is your favorite thing to eat after you get off of that scale? Your coach says, okay, go hydrate, get something in your stomach. What's Kyle Burt's go-to?
My mom makes this pretty good banana bread. I'll usually put some honey on that, and I'll have some Pedialyte with that.
I love it. That's a mom that's ready to go right there. That's good. Want to talk about your family in general. Want to ask you about your family that you have and what makes them special to you and how much they've helped you grow as a person.
I mean, like social wise, like my brother has Triple Threat Media, and he posts me all the time, so that really helps getting like out there and like people seeing wrestling. But like, I don't know, my brother kind of inspires me to like be better whenever I'm wrestling him, like try new things and stuff.
Okay, last question. You say your brother is what inspires you. If you guys were to get on the mat, even with your dad or anybody else in your family, are you coming out on top at the Burt family wrestling tournament?
No, for sure.
Yeah, come on, you got to bet on yourself all the time, man. Before we let you go, Scotty always joins us on these Wrestling Wednesdays. I want to give him a chance to ask you a question as well.
Yeah, Cal. So I was just wondering, what's the biggest thing you've learned from? You said you started when you were 4 or 5 years old, and then you really got into it in junior high. But what's like the biggest and most valuable thing you've learned over these last, over these several years until now?
The biggest thing that I've learned is just to be mental tough, and like it takes a big toll on you wrestling, and you just got to push through it no matter how hard it is.
Kyle, we want to give you the chance to thank your support system before that you go. We do this for every player profile, no matter the sport. Want to let you shine a light on the people that have supported you and that have your back the whole time. So want to let you take as much time as you want to give a shout out to those people in your life.
I'd just like to thank my family, my friends, like thank coaches, Coach Hart and Coach Caden, and thank my lifting partner every day, Aiden Stacker, and that's about all I got. Thank you.
All right, Kyle. We want to thank you so much for joining us today on Wrestling Wednesday. We appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck this year, and we can't wait to see you again real soon.
All right, thank you.
You got it, bud. Kyle Burt from Salem joining us on episode 5 of Wrestling Wednesdays. Gary, you've talked about Salem program a lot. We've talked about him a lot. Salem's one of the OGs in YSN, one of the first 4. So we've been with those kids since 2017, the start of YSN. Always a big program. Like doesn't matter what seniors graduate. It seems like they're always able to turn out kids and turn out interest in the sport in that school. What do you think is a big reason why?
Well, it's success, breeds on itself. When you do good, the kids in the hallways are talking about it. That obviously helps. It sells itself. What is the old saying? Winning cures everything. So I think obviously with their success, that it's probably been brick by brick. If you talk to Coach Hart, it probably didn't start out that way. Probably had to get to that point. But Salem is, at least in Columbiana County terms, a big school. I believe they're the biggest school district in the county. So there's a lot of kids walking the hallways, and when you have a lot to choose from, you get a little bit of success. The kids are out there in the hallways talking. I would imagine the school is probably promoting it big time. Hopefully they're doing the announcements in the morning saying congratulations to the wrestling team for bringing home the Madison tournament trophy, those kind of things. And you see your classmates doing good, having fun, And it probably just, I would imagine it snowballed into that, but I can guarantee it didn't start out that way. I bet that they've had to grind to get there. Coach Hart and his staff, it had to put the work in at the junior high level, especially. The bridge to a healthy wrestling program is the junior high. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I'm sure that started there, and kind of all things seem to come together after you really put the foundation in. And I bet that's probably, if I had to guess, that's how it went.
As we transition into the recap of the week of wrestling, let's talk about the D3s that you were at. I know you guys had a very good weekend in Waterloo, and we saw a lot of YSN teams down there. What were your takeaways from the D3s?
It's a great tournament to go to if you're a small school, because it's all Division III schools. My takeaway was that we're in the thick of things. Last week, I said that things were ramping up, but we're definitely right in the heart of wrestling season. You can see the wrestlers on the mat are getting in better shape. You're seeing more close matches. You're seeing guys dropping weight and getting to where they want to be for the rest of the season. You're just seeing better competition. The more time goes on, the longer the season goes, the better wrestlers get, the better in shape that they get, and the better product that you see out on the mat.
Also over the weekend, Austintown Fitch went 5-0 in their tournament that they went to. They beat Ravenna 42-26. They beat Berea Mid Park 54-12. They beat Poland 69-10. They were able to win over West Branch 75-6, and then they won over Worcester 80-0. 5-0 wrestlers for Fitch were Sky Jones, Joey Jarris, Jalen Danko, Louis Deloach, Devin Phillips, Marky Scancorb, and then Noah Boland. So Austintown Fitch off to a great start. They had 4 other kids go 4-1, and then a couple of them go 3-2. I don't think any wrestlers had a losing record for their meet. So Fitch is one of those wrestling programs maybe not talked about as much as they should be, but they're proving a lot of people this season that they have some really good wrestlers.
Yeah, it's a team that has a good depth, good coaching, a good tradition there. I believe Coach Bird, there's only been a handful of head coaches at Austintown Fitch. I'm not sure what number he is on the list, if he's only the 3rd or 4th ever in their school's history. So when you've got that kind of stability, you've got a big school. That might be the biggest school district in YSN's network. If not, they are the top 2 or 3. They've always done well. They've always had several guys in each weight class, and there's no doubt that a team like that will do well in duels, because the more depth you have, the better you are at dual tournaments, because you can plug guys in here, plug guys in there. At this way, you can bump a guy up if you want, or your guy wrestles better here in these situations, and his opponent often tries to get in here. There's a lot of strategy that goes into duels, so it's no surprise to me that Fitch did well.
We have the NE8 duels going on tonight. Chris Colucci going to be on the call there. South Range, obviously. Hubbard will be there. Poland, Gerard. There are a lot of good wrestling programs in that NE8. What are you most excited about seeing tonight on the network?
I think there are a lot of evenly matched teams. I bet that there'll be some close duels tonight. And you'll see teams that they will come out fighting, and depending on where the match starts, what weight they start, it could come down to the last match. I'm pretty sure that Hubbard won the dual tournament that they were at over the weekend. Obviously we have a great tradition with South Range coming in, so I'm interested to see. I think that we're going to have some close matches.
And then we talk about the weekend. Well, is there anything going on this weekend that you think is noteworthy that YSN teams are in, or YSN teams or YSN fans, I should say, should know about?
Off the top of my head, I do not. This weekend here is a slow one for wrestling as far as the weekend goes. It's tough to get something in over the winter break. And a lot of times people will do it during the week too, because they want to avoid the weekend. For whatever reason, it must be easier to just get things done during the week. I don't have anything off the top of my head. I really don't. These NA8 duels are the ones that I've been focusing on here for this week, especially.
What is up next for your squad at Wellsville?
a week from Saturday, we'll be at the Jackson Milton tournament. It's the one that they put on every year for years. It's a really great run tournament. I talked to Coach Wiedenthal this week at the D3 tournament, and he's going to have some new teams in there. I think Kirtland's coming this year, and I'm not sure if they've ever been to that tournament. We don't usually see them personally until we get to districts. So there'll be a lot of local schools there, and last year that was a really great tournament, especially competition-wise as well. There was a lot of good competition, a lot of close matches, and then a lot of tough wrestlers. So pretty excited to head there on the 6th.
Thank you for reminding me about Hubbard. They won the Shaker duels at the Pymatuning Valley. They beat Western Reserve 65-18. Had a tough one with Geneva, 39-35. They beat Geneva. They beat Pymatuning Valley, the host school, 52-29. They beat St. John's 70-12, and then they were able to cap it off with a win against South Range, 50-36. So we could be seeing, those teams are starting a little bit of a headbutting rivalry. We'll obviously see maybe a couple more of them wrestle tonight in the 8 duels. Nick Bowser, who was the guest last week, he was crowned the MVP for his duels. And Sean Bates won the quick pin with an 8-second pin. That's impressive. 8 seconds is a quick one for sure. So Hubbard had a good weekend at Pymatuning Valley as they win that duel, and they also have the MVP and Nick Bowser in the duels as well.
Yeah, congratulations to him. He said he was hoping that the team would pull home the victory. I believe he said it was the first of his high school career. If they were to get it, would be the first team trophy. So congrats to the Eagles. That team, he talked about how they've been trying to build a better program and get more kids out and just build on the success. So that's got to feel great. This has probably been a great week of practice for those guys. I'm sure yesterday that they went in there with a really good day of practice. They were probably feeling great. Maybe they had an optional practice on Christmas Day. I don't know, but I'm sure them kids are feeling great about themselves. They're feeling confident, and I'm sure that they want this NE8 title. So in South Range, I'm sure they do as well. They probably want to avenge that loss over the weekend. And you can't count out the other teams in the NE8 because we saw during football season what kind of athletes there are in that league, in that conference. I don't think you can count any of those teams out. It should be a fun match to watch tonight.
Nick Bowser also trying to be the first player in the Hubbard wrestling program to bring home a state title, and we think after what he went through last year, being injured last year and just grinding through that state run anyway, a good chance to do it again this year. We know that the heavyweights in the district are tough for sports, but Nick Bowser a really good chance to bring home a state trophy for the first time. For Hubbard wrestling, that would be a big moment for him.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm sure that he's just taking it one match at a time, though, and not getting ahead of himself. And,
media can look ahead.
Yeah,
we can be the fans.
Well,
we know Nick Bowser will be one match at a time. Let's focus on these duels, these NE8 duels, the conference duels. These are your big rivals. These are the ones that you have conference. You have conference bragging rights if you're able to do well tonight, and these are the ones that he's focused on right now.
Yeah, and when I asked him last week if being at the state tournament the first time, if maybe the stage was something he wasn't prepared for, and he said no, he's been in even bigger tournaments than that.
Yep.
So I'm sure that he's chill, he's relaxed, he's getting in shape and just focusing on what's in front of him. And some of the best advice you can get is don't look up, don't look in the crowd, and don't look ahead to anything else. Just focus on what you have right in front of you and take it one match at a time.
He was quick with that answer too. He wanted people to know. He wanted everyone to know, like right off the jump, like that was not the reason why.
Right.
The state didn't go that way, and that's a great confident kid right there. We love him. Love Nick Bowser. Love our wrestlers. We want to thank Kyle Burt for joining us today as the next guest of Wrestling Wednesday. We have a couple that might be lined up next week where we're just a first come, first serve. We have a couple more weeks of Wrestling Wednesday, obviously. So don't worry. Next Wednesday, we will have another guest on Wrestling Wednesday. We always try to get one per week, and can't wait to see who kind of lines up next week. But we have a couple of them in the barrel that I think we're aiming for. So we're getting more and more excited as we continue Wrestling Wednesday. Next week will be episode 6.
Crazy. Already a month and a half in. Once the new year hits, it seems like everything gets rolling because usually every weekend in January, most teams have something going on. So the ball's going to get rolling, and things are really going to start hitting their stride here soon.
Yeah, and then like before too long, you have the team state championships, and then those will happen before the individual ones.
Right. Yeah, that's all coming up. Yep, you'll have the team regionals will be coming up, and then you'll have the league tournaments are usually after that, and then most teams try to have the last 2 weeks of the season, free of any competition to get healthy, to work on things you need to work on and get ready for sectionals. And really, in 8 weeks from now, it will be at the sectional tournament, ready for the postseason.
Craziness. As we said before, on the show tomorrow and Friday, we will not have Running Point. I will be down at South Range for the Holiday Hoops Classic all day long, and we will be there for girls basketball. Here's the schedule for tomorrow. All these games will be on YSN, and we'll start at 10 a.m. in the morning, Boardman versus Struthers, and then we'll go with Garfield versus Fitch after that at 11:30, roughly 11:30. After 10, it's all approximate schedule times because it all depends on how fast the game before it goes. So 11:30 Garfield versus Fitch, and then at 1 o'clock we'll have Cardinal Mooney versus Springfield. 2:30 Hoban takes on Louisville. That should be a really fun one. After them at 4 o'clock we have Madison Washington and Hilliard Davidson playing each other. It'd be nice to see both those teams for the first time. We have a matchup between Green and Hathaway Brown at 5:30. Then St. Joe's Academy takes on Howland for the second time in a week as they played each other in the Tony Ross tournament last week. At Howland, they'll play each other again at South Range at 7 o'clock. And then last, rounding out the night at 8:30, South Range takes on Ursuline to round out the Holiday Hoops Classic. So a full day of basketball for me and Ty Bartell tomorrow and Friday. We will be back on Running Point on Monday, but we wanted to make sure that we had Wrestling Wednesday for you. A lot of people were like, "Well, why aren't you just taking the whole week off? You'll be off on Thursday and Friday anyway." But I wanted to get Wrestling Wednesday. I wanted to get Gary more limelight, and this wrestling community deserves it. So we popped on a Wednesday to give you Wrestling Wednesdays, and we also got Livy Showalter on to start the show. Want to thank her and Kyle Burt both for their time to make this show what it was. It was a great one. Episode 5 in the can. Episode 6 on deck next week. Gary Altizer will be joining us. Scotty Mitchell will be back next week too. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much for popping in today. Enjoy all the games tonight and tomorrow and Friday. And we'll see you back here on Running Point on Monday from 1 to 2 to recap it all.